So welcome to the second episode of Coffee with Compliance. I'm here with Natalie Beach, and our pilot went good enough. They gave us a second episode.
They wanted to hear more.
Absolutely. So I'm going to ask you some more questions if that's okay.
Of course.
So the first thing I want to talk about is this time of year, my team and I spend a lot of time with clients planning for the upcoming calendar year and what we need to do from a project and a goal perspective, but also how to set ourselves up for success with things like renewals and registrations.
Yeah.
We know that data is really important. We need to have accurate location, driver, vehicle data in order for those processes to work. Any recommendations you have or any advice you have for my team and our clients?
Yeah, that's a great question, Bob. So first and foremost, wherever we can, we want to automate as much as we can, right? Customers that can turn on a feed will always have a better chance for success if we're getting that information on a regular basis, right? The other piece in this process that's important too is the driver can help us to get good data as well. When we start a renewal or a new plating process, we're going to ask the driver to validate their information. It's the best time to let us know before we actually go into the process what we have, is it correct, and do any changes need to be made. As we move forward, one of the things we're really excited about is we're looking at capabilities to put those data changes right inside the mobile app, right? We want drivers to have something that's easy, quick, and fast. And so if we can continue to develop our technology to allow for these changes, it'll take less pressure off the fleet office and give us a chance to get information as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. And then for the user interface today that our clients will use, have we made any updates to that system that might help out?
Great question. So within the Fleet View platform, you can absolutely see which records have missing or inactive email addresses. It's a great place to start, especially for the work that is going in process or already is there. Take a look at that, right? Help us to help you by watching those reports in the Fleet View tiles. It will make sure that we can get the work in process as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and I think the great thing to note too is it's not just viewing it in the system, but you could also use that to schedule out reports and get that direct to the email box. If you don't want to log in and take a look at that, it could also be pushed out to you, the data that you need and that's actionable.
That's right. And the truth is, right, we only want you to see the exceptions. Yeah. I don't want you to have to watch every piece within the process. We want to do that as a registration team. We just need to know if something can't move forward. We want to be proactive about it. We want you to be aware, and let's get to it sooner than later.
So nearing the end of this calendar year, are there any things that our clients need to know about from a jurisdictional or state level, or just things to be prepared as we get closer to the end of the year?
Yeah, great question. So this is, for many people know, this is our busy season, right? Across all three of our campuses, we're actually going to be renewing about 200,000 registrations before the end of December, right? So it's a very busy time for us. Couple things to keep in mind. Most customers are going to have insurance policies that expire at the end of the year. That's pretty common. So get us those new certificates of insurance as quickly as you can. We don't want to have anything that's going to expire because of an expiry date on that policy. The second thing that's really important is to watch missing requirements. So as we're talking about 200,000 renewals, that means we are going to have about 20% of those renewals tied to a mandatory requirement. Make sure that you're getting your reporting early on and that you're looking at it at least once a week, right? Renewal cycles change pretty quickly. Most renewals take about 15 days to complete. Getting that reporting once a week will keep you in tune with what's missing and help us to be proactive about getting it before we have vehicles close to expiration.
Perfect, yeah. So if we stay on the requirement front, last episode we talked a little bit about the life post-pandemic and how a lot of states and jurisdictions are doing things more digital, more online. So on that front, and from an efficiency perspective, what about requirements? Are we seeing states getting rid of some requirements in order to do renewals, and kind of how does that help our processing time and getting those done quickly? And the main example that comes to mind is Texas and the VIR inspections. They're going to be going away by 2025. I think that's going to help with the efficiency, but anything else you see on that side?
So what you're normally going to see with the registration process, right, is at the beginning of the year, you have officials that are looking over across their states what needs to stay in place and what can potentially change. as you've mentioned, Texas is a great, exciting change for us. Greg Abbott, who is the governor of the state, has decided, right, that the VIN inspections maybe aren't serving the purpose that he once thought they were going to. And so starting in 2025, we will no longer have to have those VIN inspections to renew the vehicles, right? We'll continue to promote in any changes that we're seeing with the jurisdictions, but most likely you're going to see these things happen either in January or July.
Okay. So everything's bigger in Texas, just not the amount of requirements we need to renew a vehicle now. Fantastic.
And that was every vehicle, right? So think of it this way. Every vehicle that was in Texas had to have a VIN inspection. Alleviating that from the process is going to absolutely take that 20% requirements closer down to about 5 or 6% across our entire database of our fleets.
Can't wait. A couple weeks ago, I visited our clients out in Canada. And one of the things that came up in conversation, not even fleet related, was the transition over to the SAAQ system and some of the delays and some of the pain that is causing the residents of Quebec. From a fleet perspective, are we seeing any delays or pain on the fleet side?
Yeah, that's a really fair question. So starting in February of 23, they did make a change to their jurisdictional system, which absolutely changed the process as well. Significantly now, so when drivers are picking up their new vehicles from the dealership, they can expect to receive a temp tag, right? Where in the past, they were actually issued a metal hard plate at delivery. What's also changed is the process to apply for the sub-NIP in Quebec. So many people might not know what a sub-NIP is. It is the way that we are able to control the mailings in that jurisdiction. Right? So Wheels has proactively gone out and worked with our customers to collect that sub-NIP document so that we can attach it to all of our requests in Quebec and make sure that those plates, replacement cards are getting to the right places. Right? So continue to use us in this opportunity and in this way. We want to manage the mail for our customers. That is what we're here to do. And so give us a chance to have that sub-NIP on file. Will also allow us to manage the process from start to end on behalf of our customers.
Fantastic.
Okay. This information's also in FleetView. So if there's specifics about the jurisdiction that you want to be able to see, a customer can log into FleetView, go under the registration section and look at the jurisdiction profile. By selecting Quebec, they will see all these specifics that we're talking about.
Outside of Quebec, anything we need to know about any other provinces in Canada?
So along with the registration renewals, we are going to have quite a few of the jurisdictions that are going to be blocked or going to renew at one time. Ontario, Alberta, and Quebec are the three that will all come up in the next 4 months. So again, getting the information in the system, making sure our data is complete. We will start those renewal cycles about 90 days before the vehicles expire.
Great. So before we go, I had a client ask me the other day about our ITNR and plating process and how they could get some other insights or data around that.
Yeah, great timing. So ITNR is initial title and registration, and this is what's going to happen when a vehicle is leaving the dealership and we are putting a new plate on the vehicle. We recently have rolled out our new ITNR dashboard, and that's going to help our customers to have a line of sight to the status of the paperwork, when it was sent with tracking details, as well as information if the paperwork is on hold, right? Some key reasons why the paperwork goes on hold: we may be waiting on a requirement, something like a business license or a federal ID number. These things are critical in the registration process, particularly with new ITNR, because that's valuable information that's shared with the jurisdiction to receive those plates. So now customers can actually schedule a report. They can see exactly what the paperwork is on hold for. They can also see then the transaction of the new plate and how long it will take. We've added things like cycle times. So now you can see right within the dashboard how long something will take. Maybe a state like Illinois is taking 5 days to complete plates, but perhaps in Alaska, it could be 25 days. All of that information is now right inside of the tile. So you can see all of this in one easy download that you can have scheduled to be sent with whatever frequency you'd like to see.
Fantastic. So thank you for joining us for the second episode of Coffee with Compliance. Please feel free to leave any topics you want to hear compliance related in the comments down below. Follow us on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and anywhere else we could be found. Together, let's go far.